Danny Flexent here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by Sky Sports Head of Boxing Development, Adam Smith, here at Bournemouth Beach, the homecoming for Chris Billam-Smith, long awaited. What can we expect on Saturday night?
Danny, we've waited for this moment, haven't we, Bournemouth? It's actually my first time down here, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here. It's great. Chris wanted this for a long time, and when we were all with Matchroom together, I thought that might happen then. But it's happened now, and you know, boxing moves fast, and it's terrific for Chris that he has the opportunity to fight in front of what will be a hugely fervent support here by the seaside, everyone having fun, summertime, and yeah, it's brilliant being here. It's a great main event. I think Isaac Chamberlain is a terrific fighter. He's done it the hard way. I followed his career pretty closely ever since he sparred Deontay Wilder and Oleksandr Usyk, and Isaac is you know, he's a throwback, and he deserves his chance, his opportunity. He's a very, very live challenger, and I could see this being a really close, tight fight with plenty of action, which ebbs and flows, and maybe the crowd are going to play a big part in it. But it's a great fight night. Terrific card. Ben Whittaker's debut, can't wait for that. Caroline Dubois, who I believe is going to be a superstar, and Big Phrase coming back from injury and ready to go again. So yeah, it's a great card, and bring it on.
The Fight Week events are all here on the beach. What are some of the kind of logistical challenges involved with Sky covering this?
You know, that's a really good question, and I think hats off to Baz and his events team at Boxer for coming up with this. I mean, I've literally come off holiday, Danny, for the event, and I parked my car down here, and I sort of walked up thinking, no way, this is extraordinary. I mean, very rarely have we ever seen a press event on a beach, and to have the press conference and then the workouts was, I thought, terrific, and it gave the people of Bournemouth a chance to come here for a few hours, enjoy some sun, and really become part of the adventure. I guess, you know, when you sort of look forward to something, when people are coming to your town, you want to sort of wrap yourself around it, don't you? We did it with Ricky Hatton in Manchester, or Josh Warrington in Leeds, or Richie Woodall back in the day in Telford, and all these places we've been to come down to someone's backyard and have Chris and the crowd. It was wonderful, and they'll get it all again at the weigh-in, and hopefully a bit more sun, and they'll get a great night on Saturday. So yeah, and a terrific time to do it this time of year.
Now, looking ahead to September 10th, historic all-female card, of course, headlined by Shields Marshall. Any more developments on that? Anything you can tell us?
I think it's going to be an absolutely pivotal event, Danny, in boxing and for women's sport. I mean, it's been a wonderful last few weeks with the Lionesses going for glory on Sunday.
Be good to get them ringside.
Absolutely. Well, I was actually saying that a few weeks ago, that however they did, but there was just a sort of vibe. You know, there's just a vibe about their team and the manager that I just think they're going to win this. And I watched actually the semi-final the other night in West Cork on holiday with my kids, and they were fascinated by it. And they're fascinated by September the 10th as well. My girls want to watch it, and that's terrific. And I think it's going to be with the first ever all-female card in the UK. I'm sure we'll get the likes of Caroline. Hopefully she comes through in brilliant fashion on Saturday, and maybe Lauren and Karis and others. Obviously we've got Michaela Mayer and Baumgardner. We've got the wonderful top of the bill with Savannah and Clarissa. I just think it's going to be a fantastic night to showcase the elite women boxers. I mean, I'd love to reach out to Katie Taylor and Terry Harper and Chantel Cameron and say, you know what, come over and do an 8-rounder as well, because it'd just be wonderful, wouldn't it, just to celebrate the women. Look how far we've come from the days of Jane Couch, who was such a pioneer when we were first starting in the sport. And you know, you look at Katie Taylor and that opportunity to become a professional, and the flag bearer really that sort of inspired Tasha Jonas and Chantel and Terry and all of those. It's absolutely brilliant. And of course we've got Tasha as one of our talent now too, and she'll be appearing in September as well. And I can't wait for September 10th. It's a night I've dreamt of, and I'm sure that many others have as well, and we'll be putting the weight of Sky behind it, the weight of the business behind September 10th.
Talking of the weight of Sky, I guess that appealed to Skills Challenge Entertainment, the Saudi promoters of Usyk versus Joshua 2, because they decided to go with Sky. Ben Shalom told us earlier that Sky weren't the highest bidder, but there were other qualities that convinced the Saudis to go with Sky Sports box office for this one. I guess the first question is, why has it taken so long to announce this, to confirm it?
My first answer is you are an excellent journalist, Danny Flexen, because you say that you get everything right. It is Usyk against Joshua 2. I've said, I think, in every other interview it's AJ Usyk 2, because we're here in Britain and we're thinking, can he become a three-time world champion? Oleksandr Usyk has been unbelievable over the last few years in the boxing world. You know, he's just torn up the script time and time again. He's one of the pound-for-pound kings. I absolutely adore his team. Of course it is Usyk against Joshua 2. So many questions. A bigger fight than last time. A compelling rematch. Out in the desert. The terrible Ukraine situation that Oleksandr's had to go through over the last year. You know, AJ having to sort of rethink the tactics. There's so much in this fight. And that's why I think when we were disappointed with Anthony leaving and going to DAZN as an ambassador, and we felt a bit wounded. I think we saw the opportunity, and Ben Shalom worked hard with us, and Rob Selms, our head of rights, worked exceptionally hard, and still, you know, getting the contracts together and the commercial side of it, phenomenal. And we went and we had meetings, and we found a way of making this work for our customers, to bring AJ and Usyk to Sky Sports box office, where Anthony's always been, where Oleksandr's always been. We believe they love the platform. Oleksandr Usyk is the favourite going into this. AJ, for the first time, an underdog going into this fight. It's got everything in a narrative that our Sky customers love to see. We wanted it, we fought hard for it, we got it, and I think it's the rightful platform, the best platform, and we've got 3.5 weeks to get everything together and utilise the entire arsenal of Sky. And believe you me, everybody is behind this, and we're delivering a fantastic build-up, a wonderful night of action with a great card. I'm hearing Ben Whittaker might be on it now too, and we'll find out whether AJ can become a three-time champion, or whether Oleksandr Usyk can cement his place as a heavyweight king alongside Tyson Fury, and the pound-for-pound great that he has become, and maybe even go better than at Tottenham, sorry Danny, and stop AJ in Saudi.
So the fact that it has only been announced 3.5 weeks before, is that the Saudis driving a hard bargain, just the complexities of the negotiations?
Yeah, I think it was a shorter window of negotiations. I remember when Pacquiao and Mayweather was made, Mayweather-Pacquiao, whichever way you want to call that one. I think that was Mayweather-Pacquiao. Finally, after what we waited 5-6 years for that, Danny, we could have had a trilogy by the time it was announced. But when it was announced, we had 6 weeks. I was there at the theatre in LA when they announced it. We didn't have the rights then. I think we got the rights, actually, the overseas rights 3 weeks before, and we did huge numbers for that. So look, when you've got a big fight and a big narrative and a huge story and the biggest one of the year, people want to watch it. I think that, yeah, we'll get behind it. We have got enough time, and we've got the people ready. Everybody's in gear. And I guess, yeah, the negotiations did take some time, and obviously contracts do. You know, we thought the deal probably had been done a while back, but it has to go through different stages, signatures, and the lawyers, and back and forth, and these things take time. And that's not my area of expertise, far from it. But I was waiting, and you guys were calling me up and saying, "Can we do an interview?" And I hoped, and I was 99.9% sure we had it. But you never know. Boxing is always a funny business, and things can happen at the last minute. So until it was signed, sealed, and delivered, we couldn't announce it. But we have now, and we can get on and enjoy it.
Now, you're not a petty man, Adam, by nature, but AJ signs this exclusive deal with DAZN. His very next fight is back on Sky, where he's been for his whole career. Do you get some level of personal vindication from that?
I love your questions, Danny. No vindication there. I'm not a petty guy. AJ's a friend of mine, as is Eddie, as is Frank. We've all worked together a long time. Just because business now separates us and we go a different way, and my life is now with Ben Shalom and Todd DeBerth and Baz and Sav Dan and all the boxer team and top ranked team, and of course our Sky team. But no, it's there's no vindication at all. I think the team probably were upset. Sky were wounded by the fact that AJ took another offer. But I said to them, don't begrudge fighters for doing that. They deserve everything they can get out of this sport. We know how difficult the sport can be. We've seen it. Spencer Oliver around earlier is living proof. that it's a very, very hard business, and that his dreams were cut short at 22, and you don't know. So while they're in the ring and while they're delivering us entertainment, and they're putting their careers on the line and their lives on the line for our entertainment, they deserve everything. So AJ went and got that deal. Not vindication, but I think it's great that we've got it, because I think it's the right platform. I think that Sky customers expect us to deliver the big box office nights, and we went out and got it, and I'm really pleased, sort of against the odds almost with this. I think people expected it to be on DAZN. We had the backing of the business, the entire Sky business from top level, and we went out and got it, and I'm absolutely delighted, and I can't wait to start working on it. The family aren't too happy, Danny, because it's knifing summer holidays, but so be it. We're in Saudi.
You've already broke your summer holiday to come to Bournemouth. Never mind Saudi.
Really
No disrespect to Bournemouth. No, I can imagine. They won't watch this, I'm sure. One thing I do want to ask about, as with any announcement of a major fight or a broadcaster, there has been some negativity, predictably perhaps this time, over Saudi, the location. Particularly with Sky, because there's been some controversy about the golf tournament that's taking place in that region at the moment, and some issues I think the Sky golf journalists have had about that and the sports washing elements of it. What do you say to critics of taking or broadcasting a big event like Usyk versus Joshua 2 from Jeddah, from that region?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been to Saudi before. This isn't the first time. We did the Andy Ruiz first fight, and it was very different, I think, then, because we took 150 people. We had the world feed. We were in control of everything. We're not this time. So a majority of it will be at Sky. We'll have a huge sort of glittering studio and big talent at Sky, and there'll be a small team going to Saudi. I don't obviously like to get involved in the politics. I like to look at the sports element. This is a huge fight. And it's a fight that, if it was happening in America, or if it was happening in Britain, or if it was happening on the moon, people are interested in the fight. We broadcast sport, and that's how I like to look at it. Obviously, I'm aware of the delicacies and the situation, and that's I think probably for other people to comment on and talk about. I've been told in part of the negotiations that there's a lot of young kids that are getting into boxing over in Saudi, and we love young kids getting into boxing anywhere around the world. So people like to move forward, and let's hope there's a brighter future for everybody. But it's not something that I want to be drawn into. Ultimately, the events in Saudi Arabia, we'll be going to cover it because we're a broadcaster that covers top sport, and it's a boxing fight that's happening in a squared circle in a country where it could happen anywhere. But obviously, we know the money that's been put into this, and who knows if it could have happened elsewhere. It's happening where it is. We've made the decision to cover the event, to broadcast it, and we're going to go and do everything we can to broadcast it in the best sporting way we can. And I think that's what we always do with Sky Sports. We're a boxing team, and we're going to go and tell the story of the fight. And it's in Jeddah. It was in Riyadh last time. And we as a team, the 150 people, we went over, and it was a difficult assignment in many ways, but we did it, and we came back, and we were treated extremely well, and there was many women with us, and that was an issue for me at the beginning in 2019, because people like Sarah Chenery and brilliant Jenny Blackmore and brilliant people on our team, women on our team, I wanted to make sure that everybody was comfortable, and I think that everyone remained professional, and the job got done, and we're going to be professional, and the job will get done again, and people can speculate and theorise and get into the politics of it. I prefer to talk about the fight and the fact that it's a huge fight, and we're delivering the big sporting highlight of boxing, to our customers, because we're a broadcaster. We don't stage the event. We're a broadcaster, and we're just covering it.
Adam Smith, really appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem at all. Cheers, Danny.